This is the plaintiff, Charles Rosselli. He says he went to the defendant's diner for breakfast, and he broke his tooth biting into his eggs because there was a rock in it. That's right, a rock. He showed it to the defendant. He threw it on the floor and told him to bring him his dental bill, and he'd pay for it. When he brought the bill back to the diner, the defendant told him he could go you-know-where. So here he is. He's suing for $4,728.51, the cost of an implant. This is the defendant, Tommy. He says the plaintiff had breakfast at his establishment, and he caused quite a commotion when he jumped up, claiming his tooth had fallen out. There was no blood in the man's mouth. The guy claimed there was a small rock in his omelet, and he doubted his story. But here's the thing. The guy ate breakfast on June 17th, then presented him with a dental bill calling for a tooth extraction dated May 1st. What a scammer. He's accused of serving a hard omelet.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Rosselli, according to you, you were eating breakfast at the defendant's establishment, and what happened?
My family and I went there for Father's Day breakfast.
So it was on Father's Day, which was June
Yes,
17th?
Yes.
Okay.
We ordered, we were all talking, food came, started eating, and as I was eating, I bit into something hard, and I spit it out, and there was a little, like a pebble inside my eggs. And I was gagging to try to get the food out of my mouth, because I wasn't sure what it was at first. And then I told my wife, I was like, look, there was something in my food. She looks at me, she's like, where's your tooth? So then I went, I got the...
You didn't notice that you didn't have a tooth?
Well, I felt, when I bit down, I felt something hard, but no, I didn't, at first I didn't realize that the tooth was missing. And then I went and I got the waiter, he came over and then he went and got him, and I was explaining to him what happened, and I showed him the tooth and the rock and everything, and he put it in his pocket, which I thought...
Wait, back up. Your wife said, where's your tooth? Where was your tooth?
Well, I don't know. When I got up, they came over and they took my plate away.
Did you find your tooth?
No.
So you
I
didn't
spit
have...
everything out into my plate.
Hold on one second. Okay, hold on one second. If you're missing a tooth, don't you want to find the tooth?
If you bit down on a rock, you know, I was more concerned about telling them what happened. I figured my plate would have been there when I got back and I could have looked for the tooth. It wasn't in my mouth, so I wasn't that concerned.
Were you bleeding?
A little, yeah. I have pictures of me going into his bathroom, a picture of the rock, picture of my missing tooth with my gums.
Let me see the pictures. What is this a picture of?
I can't see which one you're holding. That's a picture of the pebble
Where were these pictures taken?
in his establishment's bathroom.
You kept the pebble but not your tooth?
I didn't have time to find the tooth. By the time I got back to my seat, after talking with him, they took my plate away.
I presume that what you are attempting to establish is that the pebble broke your tooth, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I would expect to see both a pebble and a broken tooth if that's accurate.
The plate when I went
So
back...
you kept the pebble but not the tooth?
I didn't have time to find the tooth. When I went back to my seat, my plate was cleared already.
What happened from your perspective over there?
My waiter called me over and told me this gentleman claims that his tooth fell out, blah, 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 whatever. So my waiter asked him, let me see your mouth, are you bleeding? He was looking at it, but he wasn't bleeding or anything. It didn't appear to be bleeding, but if he found the pebble, like, why can't he find his tooth? The tooth is bigger than the pebble. So we calmed the gentleman down, and then he came back a few weeks, 10 days later, with a bill. He told me, this is the bill. So I read the bill, and it says
And the bill was for $5,000.
For $4,800, correct.
Yeah.
On May 1st, it said that he was already there for an extracted, erupted, rotten tooth. And then he came to my place on Father's Day, which was the 17th. And then he went back for all this work, so I think he just...
And that work was done June 25th.
Yeah. And
So that's like 8 days later.
Yeah, I think maybe he's just looking for opportunity. He wants me to pay for his, I don't know, for his rotten
Implant.
tooth that he took out on May 1st.
Welcome back to the People's Court, Harvey, 11 years. So if a tooth falls out because somebody bites it on a pebble, would there be blood?
Yes, there would definitely be blood.
There would for sure be blood.
Yes, definitely. No question.
Now, complicate it a little bit. Suppose that the tooth is rotten and the tooth comes out with a pebble, maybe a healthy tooth wouldn't. Is the restaurant responsible if the tooth was rotten but the tooth comes out because of the pebble?
Oh, absolutely not. They wouldn't be responsible for that.
Why?
No, that's the guy's lack of care for himself. It's no responsibility from the restaurant.
Okay, that's pretty persuasive going inside the courtroom.
Those records say that you had a tooth extraction on May 1.
No, it doesn't say I had it done. It was never done. It says treatment plan.
Give me the records you have. Give me the records you have.
Right there.
Call the dentist,
I plan on it.
please.
Are you telling me that on May 1st you did not have a tooth extracted, sir?
No,
Okay. On June 25th, did you have a surgically placed implant?
no,
Have you done any of the work?
no.
Okay.
On the top of that, it says plan.
Well, let's
treatment
call
plan.
him. Tell him that you're in court and that,
Oh, you want me to call him? All right.
yeah, I do.
Hi, how you doing? This is Charlie Roselli. Hi, I'm standing in court, and the judge wants to speak to the doctor.
Sure, hold on one second.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem.
My name is Marilyn Milian. I'm the judge on the People's Court, and your patient, Charlie Roselli, is in front of me on a case, and it involves a bill from your office or a treatment plan from your office, and so I had a question for you. Do you want to talk to him first and get permission for me to ask this one question?
No, he has permission.
Okay, can you hear him?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm looking at a treatment plan. It says treatment case, treatment plan, and it has a date of May 1, 2018. And it says extract, comma, erupted, TH, and then it has a slash exposed RT. Did you extract a tooth on that day?
No.
Did you extract a tooth on any day?
No, I didn't take out any teeth. He came in around 6:28. Now I looked at it, took an x-ray, said the tooth should be removed.
This is
And it needs an implant and it needs a crown on it. That was an approval to do that work.
okay. When did you see him? I presume that would have been on May 1st then, since that's the first date?
On May 1st, yeah.
Yeah. So the tooth needed to be removed. Why?
It was hanging. It was deteriorating. It was moving. It was like it wasn't much stability in the tooth. It was broken as well.
Okay. And can you tell me which tooth that was?
That was tooth number I, which is a baby tooth which is on the top left of this mouth.
Smile, my dear.
It's on the top left.
Okay. Yeah. That the tooth we're
It's
talking
pa-
about?
Well, it's not deteriorated, but it's part of the
Just listen
tooth.
to my question. He says he did not extract that
Right.
tooth, but my question to you is that the tooth that needed extracting?
Yeah, because it broke off in his
Thank you.
diner.
Okay, I'm sorry, no. On May 1st, when you saw him, you explained to him that tooth needed extracting?
No,
Is that
this is
correct?
the tooth.
No, you stop talking. I'm asking the doctor. Sorry, doctor, I promised you it would be one question, and I have a follow-up, because I just want to make sure. What's the day you saw? Yep.
I saw him May 1st. I took x-rays. I said the tooth was in bad shape, and that was
That's-
it. I didn't remove the tooth.
Excuse me.
Okay. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
This is the tooth he's talking about. You can see it's a baby tooth. You want me to walk over and you can see it? You heard him say baby tooth, right? The baby tooth is still there.
Okay. How are you going to prove
What do I have to prove?
your case?
I understand that.
Right.
The paperwork that I just handed you, what's the date on it?
Okay. You understand that when he says the left side, he's talking about your mouth, right?
Yes.
Right. He's not talking about my left when I'm staring at you, right?
The baby tooth is still in my mouth that he was referring to. And you asked him about May 1st. Why didn't you ask him about the date that was
I
from?
did ask him about, because May 1st is the one that concerns me. That you went and,
This happened in June.
yes, and that's the rub, isn't it?
But you should have
That
asked
if
him
you
about...
had a deteriorated tooth in May.
It's still here.
That's important to me. you
It's,
see.
if you come look, it's still a baby tooth. It's still in my mouth.
According to you, there's a tooth in your mouth that's deteriorating?
It's right here.
I'm not going up there. You go look.
You said it was a baby tooth, right?
Does that look deteriorating? Does that look like it's about to fall out, or does it look like every other tooth around it?
Well, it looks like a baby tooth, but it doesn't look like it's about to
Right,
fall out.
right. That's not the baby tooth this doctor was
How many
talking about.
baby teeth
He
do you
has it marked on the paper. He has it marked on the paper which tooth he's talking about. Verdicts for the defendant.
Well, Mr. Rosselli, if you'll step here, unfortunately, you couldn't convince the judge. What are you thinking?
She didn't want to hear from the get-go. From the minute she was
She
arguing with
talked
me.
to the dentist.
Yeah, and she asked me about the wrong date. She asked me about May. The paperwork I handed her was from June. Why didn't she say, well, I have a proposal from June in front of me? Right? She asked me about May.
Well,
Right here.
unfortunately,
I know, it
don't
doesn't
show
matter.
me,
This is a
don't-
kangaroo
yeah,
court.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
give me my paperwork, let me get out of here.
all right, that way. Okay, Tommy. What are you thinking?
He's an opportunist, just looking for me to pay for his nonsense. That's basically what it came down to. He gave me that paperwork. He came into my restaurant telling me, this is what you owe me, look this and this and this. So I'm not making it up. She saw it, I saw it. Everybody can clearly see that. His tooth came out earlier somewhere, and he's looking for me to pay for his dental work that he can't afford, obviously.
What about the rock in the eggs?
Where's the tooth? How come you don't have the tooth? If your tooth falls out, where's the tooth?
What about the rock? in
What
the
about
egg?
the rock?
Was there a rock?
Of course not, there wasn't, right? He brought
pebble?
it,
Anything?
he brought it with him. You ever find any rocks in your food?
No, thank God.
God.
Okay, but I've never eaten in your place.
Any place have you eaten in?
No.
Nobody eats.
Thank you
rocks,
very
right?
much. Okay,
Thank you, appreciate it.
congratulations. All righty. Harvey?
Okay, well, there's actually kind of a really interesting law here. If what you bite down on is indigenous to the food, for example, if you're eating linguine and clams and there's a little clamshell in there, the restaurant's not responsible for that. If it's a foreign object, like a rock or a staple or something like that, then the restaurant is responsible.